And hello, horror fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts and review for the final film in the Conjuring universe, Conjuring the Last Rites, starring Patrick Wilson and Vera Vermega. Probably butcher her last name. I apologize. So Ed and Lorraine Warren, they're back, and this time around, we get a glimpse of to their past, their very first case, as you know, that pretty much told themselves that we gotta stay away. So we get a flashback in the beginning of this film of them young, and they go into this place where this like antique shop, and they encounter a presence that freaks them the hell out to the point where they're like, yo, we gotta dip. I know Ed and Lorraine Warren are like the most famous, paranormal, experts, and they were like, no, we gotta bounce, we gotta get out of here. There is a reason why they actually do leave, and I'm not gonna say what it is because it's a spoiler. So anyway, couple years later, we go into, I guess, Pennsylvania or around that area, and this family's living there. They got like 6 kids. I think it's 6 of them. It's like a lot of kids. Most of them are daughters, and they start experiencing hauntings in their house. And they don't know what to do. Their youngest daughter just had a communion, just got baptized, kind of, how that works. So they figure everything's good, and then this haunting starts happening. She gets like a certain present, like a present for, oh, congratulations, you had your communion. So she gets it, and it's haunted. I'm not gonna say what it is unless you didn't see the trailer, but this object is carrying a demon inside, and this demon's cutting loose and terrorizing this family. So then we go back to the Warrens, and they decide, what, they want to kick back, they want to relax a little bit, just give lectures. They don't want to do hauntings anymore. Ed's already suffered a heart attack from the last film. He doesn't want to risk anything now. Doctor told him to take it easy. Lorraine, she just wants to just do what she can, in a way where Ed's safe, but she's also safe as well. Their daughter Judy's all grown up, doing her own thing, and she brings her boyfriend home. Her boyfriend shows up, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm dating your daughter," and they get to know the boyfriend and all that stuff. But then when this family becomes the point where they have to get the media involved and a priest involved to try to figure out what the heck is going on in their house, this is when the Warrens have to come back and realize, whoa, we sensed something. This presence is the same presence we felt years ago before Judy was born. Kind of presence is drawing us back to this to do what we do, and we gotta figure out a way to stop this thing and also help this family. And so that's basically the gist of this film without me explaining the whole thing. I'm not gonna spoil it unless you want to see it for yourself. Okay, so first off, I love the Conjuring series. I think all the movies are great. I think the weakest out of all of them is the third one, in my opinion. I think it's just the weakest one. It's good in its way, but I have some issues with that film. Love the second film. The second film is my personal favorite out of all of them, and I like the first one as well. I like the spin-offs. The one spin-off I'm not too crazy about is Annabelle Creation, and I know that one a lot of people say they like the most. That's cool. For me personally, the best Annabelle film, I think, in my opinion, is the first film, and of course the one where Annabelle goes to the Warren's house for the first time, and Judy has to be the hero in that film. So I really like that one a lot. And I like the both Nuns movies, and La Llorona, I like that one too. It's fine. It's got some moments, but there's some stuff in there that I don't like too, for all of them. But still, overall, I do like this franchise a lot. So I was very excited to see this new one. I love Ed and Lorraine as characters in this, in these movies. I love their characters. I like the chemistry that Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga have with each other. They're fantastic. They haven't lost a beat. These two are just fantastic together. I mean, you can see clearly that they're a little older in real life too, but the actors. But yeah, they were great. The, even the actress who plays the older Judy, she's great too in this movie. Even though I'm a little annoyed that every time they're always changing the actor for Judy. I know it was supposed to be different times, but still, the actress they had the last time was a lot more, was my favorite version of Judy. So, go figure. I guess they had to make her older, so it's fine. But overall, this movie's okay. Honestly, I went into this movie thinking this is going to be the scariest film of all. It's got moments. It has its tension moments, and I'm like, but for me personally, nothing scarier gets me. I haven't been scared and really scared. Like, oh my god, that caught me off guard since like maybe the second film and Exorcist years ago. But I was like a kid when I saw that, so go figure, trauma. But so yeah, I watched this movie and I'm like, it's got some moments, some creepy moments, sure. But also, I feel like they tried to they kind of rushed it in a way, because as much as we wanted them to focus on, this poor family needs help, this demon or whatever it is attached to them and wants to, hurt them. We didn't get too much focus on that, like how we got in the first film and the second film and even in the third film. This film we barely got them, and then we focus so much on Ed and Lorraine, which we already know about, and them dealing with their stuff, being, quote unquote, somewhat retired, and them have to get back in the game just so we can figure out why they left that particular case in the first place, that kind of followed them back to this new family to get them back to try to stop them, or the evil ones. So, it has moments in here that I liked. I love seeing Ed and Lorraine, but to me, I think it's a little bit more weaker than the third film was. At least the third one is based on a story where, based on a true story where, court got involved, where somebody got murdered, and they blamed devilicious practice as a legal battle. So I thought that one was a little more interesting than what we got here. But no, like I said before, don't get me wrong, still enjoyed it for what it was, but I think after watching this film and I literally just rewatched all the other movies, I can say from experience of seeing this is weaker than the third film, and I think the third film is the weakest film out of these two. Like the 3 and 4 are the weakest film out of the Conjuring movies, so in my opinion. But I think 3 is a little bit more stronger than 4 is. Like I said, I love Ed and Lorraine. I wish their characters, I want to see, what they've been doing, but, we didn't need to focus so much on them in this one, especially with Judy. Even if she's grown up, you could have focused more on Judy by herself, dealing with the fact that she's also got the powers of her mom. And that's not a spoiler, because we saw that in the other movies as well. We know she's been dealing with that stuff her whole life. She sees things, but she's also got a trick to try to calm herself down. So I thought that stuff was cool. The girl who plays Judy was really good in this film. Even the boyfriend was kind of cool in here. He helped out. He understand what the family goes through with all this stuff. There's some cameos in here from the previous films, the good and the bad versions of the films. So be aware of that. There is a post-credit scene, kind of, not really. It just explains what the real Warrens did with that certain object in real life. So if you want to read about the real stuff, so it's there, so you can do that. But like I said, overall, it was just an okay film, in my opinion. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about The Conjuring: The Last Rites. Are you guys looking forward to seeing this? Gave up on the Conjuring universe? Not a big horror person? Whatever you think it is, leave me a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more, and thank you very much, and have a good day.